Here's the truth. Traders are butchering trend lines every time they draw them. They slap them on the charts, hope for the best, and then they wonder why things are failing, okay? So today, what I want to show you is the right way to use trend lines so they can actually help you trade and make money, not lose it. So in this morning's Zoom coaching session, my partner Mitch did a full 10-minute training on how to draw trend lines. One of the students asked, said one of our setups align with some trend line stuff. So, Mitch being Mitch and the mentor that he is, jumped right in, did a 10-minute training, cut right to the heart of the matter. And by the way, I am Ryan from Precision Trading Labs. After trading for full-time for more than 15 years, I can tell you this, the majority of losing traders that I see, they really can get down to just like bad charting habits. Not all, but a bunch. And usually the way they draw trend lines is up there at the top of the list. So here's my promise to you. Give me the next 10 minutes. Watch my partner Mitch do what he does and train you step by step on the right way to do it. And here's what you're going to learn. The single biggest mistake traders make when they're drawing the trend lines. The proper way to anchor your lines so you can spot the real structure to it. And then how to use one clean, well-placed trend line to predict high probability setups without cluttering your screen with like a ton of indicators, right? If you're doing this right, you're not using like 10 indicators or anything like that. You're just doing these things the right way. So you'll see that. By the end of the training, you'll know exactly how to use trend lines as a precision tool. I don't use them to trade primarily. I use supply and demand zones, but they're a nice complement when they use them, and a bunch of people are trading trend lines, as I said, and not doing it all that great. So this way you're not trading with guesswork, and you actually have a predictable way of doing this. So let's dive in. Let me introduce my partner, Mitch Firestone. Mitch, take it away.
So let's see. I want to talk about here. Let me show you this here. I want to show you something about Halliburton here, because I was looking at this and I was talking to one of our fellow traders about it yesterday. And after I marked up the chart and we had our discussion, I realized that there was something kind of really useful that I could kind of highlight and point out for you guys. So let me bring that up here. In fact, let me just bring up the slide that I did yesterday. Up there it is. Oh, it was in the daily. Sorry. Hang on one second. We can grab that. So what I want to do is actually show you how to draw trend lines. Okay. So the other day I was talking about trend lines, and I said in certain cases, I'm not a slave to them. I think that I generally like moving averages better. But having said that, there is definitely a use for trend lines here. And in fact, this is a good example of where they're useful. And then I'm going to show you now also the proper way to draw them. Okay. So this is what I was kind of going through with one of our traders, and like Ryan, I'm trying to convince him to just kind of go to the dark side and just basically just throw all in with supply and demand. But he's not quite there yet. Okay, but he likes it, he uses it, but then every once in a while he falls into I'm looking at ascending triangles and all that kind of stuff. So for whatever it's worth, in classical technical analysis, this is what's referred to as an ascending triangle, and we're not going to talk about it. But basically, it just means that we have we can see that when we kind of draw this thing and we kind of connect all its highs and all its lows, we can see obviously price overall. Let's say since the beginning of April, obviously has moved from, let's say, 18 or 19 bucks, and now we're obviously up to about, what is that, about 23 bucks. So going from 18 to 23, that's like what, a 25% move or something along those lines. So obviously in the big picture, this is what's referred to as an ascending triangle. Okay, but in the process of doing this, I kind of realized obviously to create the triangle, what you're doing is you're drawing trend lines. Okay. And so you're drawing a trend line that's kind of on the, basically connecting the lows, and then you're drawing a trend line that's connecting the highs. And I realized after I did this, this is like the poster child for drawing trend lines. So the way you draw a trend line is you basically are looking for pivots. So what's a pivot? Okay. On the low side, a pivot is when you basically have a basically a red candle that drops all the way down and then reverses. Okay. Or you have these low points. Okay. So you can actually have a green candle, but you can also have a big descending wick. Okay. And that's the other way you can have a pivot. Okay. But basically what you have are these lows that then snap back. Those are pivots. Okay. And so what you have is you have one of these, okay, then it comes up to, let's say, a second one, and then what you do is you need a third one to confirm it, okay, because obviously if you're going to draw a line, if you have 2 points, you can always draw a line with 2 points, but then you need a third one to confirm it. Okay, so you can see right here we had this one, that one, but now we've actually have like kind of two other ones that are right there, and they may be off by a penny or so, but that's okay. Okay, but you can see there, essentially, this is kind of a five contact line, or really a four contact line. In other words, starting from here, this is your initial area of your line of interest, and then each one of these essentially kind of confirms it. Okay, so that's the point of this. This is how you draw that trend line. Okay, similarly up here. Okay, you've got that point way up there. Okay, and then notice now we have another point of contact that establishes a provisional trend line. Okay, it's not confirmed, but then right there, you've got that green one that spikes up and then immediately respects it. Okay, now you've got that point of confirmation, and then you got a third one, and then it's quite possible we may actually see another one right there. Okay, so this is how you draw trend lines. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to go through that. And what I'll do is I'll share the slide with everybody, and you might just kind of want to, tuck it away there. Because again, this is this. So let me just show you also before I move on here. This is one of the things that when you have these, you know, they do help to sort of enhance your analysis of something. So if you notice, I periodically will throw Bollinger Bands into a chart. And a Bollinger Band is simply just tells you that price is very stretched to the upside or the downside. So that's and they're based on the 20 period simple moving average. Okay, so there's your 20, and then there's the lower Bollinger Band, and that's the higher. And the higher one just means it's two standard deviations away. Don't worry about it. It's a statistical geeky thing. Don't worry about it. It's just what it means is that when you get to one of these, it means price is very stretched to the upside. And when you get to one of these, essentially it means that price is very stretched to the downside. And that when things get very stretched, oftentimes um, they are more apt to then snap back towards the middle. And if you can imagine a rubber band that let's say you have a big rubber band and you're pulling them apart between two hands. The further apart your two hands go, the more tension you'll feel in that rubber band because it's pulling you, it's trying to pull back to the center. And to some degree, that's the way price will react when it has a reason to do so. And more often than not, that's a supply or a demand zone. So when you have something is stretched to the downside, when it's in the presence and it coincides with the demand zone, this is an odds enhancer. Okay, but the other thing that's an odds enhancer for these Bollinger Bands sometimes are trend lines. Okay, and so again, I would never blindly trade off of these things. But when I was doing this analysis with this guy, it kind of showed me this thing, which I've seen numerous times. And that is when you have Bollinger Bands, okay, well, a lot of times things will just burn through Bollinger Bands. It does, they're not gonna generally, they don't work on their own. Generally, the way Bollinger Bands tend to work is you want to see them in connection with some other thing. For us, it's supply and demand. But for other people, they sometimes will look at them in connection with trend lines. And this is a good example of that. Okay, so if you notice right here, we have the lower Bollinger Band here, but you notice the trend line right here. Okay, well, on the trend line, notice it comes down right to the Bollinger Band and bounces off. Notice it comes down again to the Bollinger Band, bounces off, comes down to the Bollinger Band, bounces off. Okay, these are all coinciding with that trend line and the Bollinger Band. Similarly, on the upper one, okay, you've got, again, there's the upper Bollinger Band and there's the trend line. It drops down. Okay. Comes up here again, upper Bollinger Band, drops, comes up to the upper Bollinger Band, drops again. Okay. Trend lines are, when you look at Bollinger Bands, if you want to look at them, this is a great enhancement to them. To use a drug, to use a pharmaceutical term, it's an adjuvant. Okay, it basically augments the efficiency or the efficacy of whatever it is you're using. So if you're using Bollinger Bands, having a trend line that coincides with it will generally point you at the accurate way of looking at them. Because if you're just using Bollinger Bands, things will burn through Bollinger Bands left and right. Okay, they're not. John Bollinger Band may be offended if I say that, but it is the case, and he will even say that oftentimes, you want to look at them in connection with something else. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of highlight this stuff. So again, out of this, really, kind of two takeaways. First of all, here's how you draw the trend lines. Okay. And then here is how, you can also use them. And then of course, in addition to that, if you happen to have a trend line and it also kind of coincides with a demand zone or a supply zone, that will also be an odds enhancer. So at any rate, I kind of wanted to kind of go through that. So I will again share this. I'll share this chart with you guys after. All right.
Wow. All right. Thanks, Mitch, for going through that whole thing. Guys, I hope you got 10 minutes of pure value out of that. Mitch picked the symbol that one of our students asked about. Do the whole trend line training just off of that. If you got some great value out of that training, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the thumbs up, and drop a comment that you liked it. If you're more serious about learning to trade, I'm actually going to drop a link in the description where you can get access to more resources that are completely free. So you can go to the link in the description right below the video. I have put together a free trading guide in there. It talks all about our risk management strategies, the patterns that we trade, some best practices for being successful. And you can just go ahead. It's completely free. Put in your name, email address. We'll send that over to you. And hopefully talk to you soon. Again, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.